The hunt for Jack the Ripper's true identity. In the autumn of 1888, the streets of London's Whitechapel district became the hunting ground for one of history's most infamous and elusive serial killers. Known only as Jack the Ripper, his identity remains one of the greatest mysteries of the criminal world. Over a span of just a few months, he brutally murdered at least 5 women, leaving the community in terror and the police baffled. The name Jack the Ripper has since become synonymous with unsolved crime and macabre fascination. The legend of Jack the Ripper has endured for over a century, capturing the imaginations of writers, historians, and amateur sleuths alike. Numerous books, films, and documentaries have attempted to piece together the puzzle of his identity. Despite countless investigations and the advancement of forensic science, the true identity of Jack the Ripper remains unknown. This mystery continues to intrigue and horrify people around the world. The story begins in the densely populated and poverty-stricken neighborhood of Whitechapel, a place teeming with crime and destitution. It was here that the Ripper found his victims, women who were often forced into prostitution to survive. The brutality of his crimes and the seeming randomness of his attacks created a climate of fear and suspicion. The police, under intense public pressure, embarked on one of the most extensive manhunts in history. Jack the Ripper's reign of terror began in the early hours of August 31, 1888, with the murder of Mary Ann Nichols. Over the next few months, 4 more women, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly, met similarly gruesome fates. Each crime scene offered chilling evidence of the Ripper's modus operandi: precise and frenzied mutilations, often performed in public areas. The lack of witnesses and the killer's ability to vanish without a trace baffled the authorities. As the body count rose, so did the public's fear and fascination. Newspapers sensationalized the murders, dubbing the killer Jack the Ripper, after a taunting letter supposedly sent by the murderer himself. Theories about his identity ranged from doctors and butchers to members of the royal family. Despite the rampant speculation, the true face behind the name remains a dark enigma. The murders commence. The first victim, Mary Ann Nichols, was found in Bucks Row on August 31, 1888. Her throat had been slashed and her abdomen mutilated. The savagery of the attack suggested a perpetrator with a deep-seated rage. The local police were quick to respond, but the lack of forensic technology severely limited their ability to gather evidence. Just over a week later, on September 8, 1888, the Ripper struck again. Annie Chapman was discovered in the backyard of 29 Hanbury Street. Her body had been horribly mutilated, with organs removed in a manner that indicated anatomical knowledge. This escalation in violence suggested that the killer was becoming bolder and more confident. The next attack came as a double event on September 30, 1888. Elizabeth Stride was found with her throat cut in Duckfield's yard, but her body was not mutilated, leading some to believe the killer was interrupted. Less than an hour later, Catherine Eddowes was found in Mitre Square, her body severely mutilated. The proximity of the murders heightened the sense of urgency and dread among the populace. The final canonical victim, Mary Jane Kelly, was discovered on November 9, 1888, in her rented room at Miller's Court. Her body was mutilated beyond recognition, marking the most brutal of all the murders. The ferocity of the attack indicated a deep-seated hatred and a potential personal vendetta. This gruesome discovery shocked even the most hardened detectives and solidified the Ripper's notoriety. With each murder, the Ripper left behind tantalizing clues that led to more questions than answers. His ability to navigate the streets of Whitechapel undetected and his seemingly random choice of victims perplexed the investigators. Despite the intense scrutiny and numerous suspects, the identity of Jack the Ripper eluded capture. The shadowy figure continued to haunt the dark corners of London. Investigation and evidence. The investigation into the Ripper murders was led by Inspector Frederick Aberline of the Metropolitan Police. He and his team faced immense pressure from the public and the media to catch the killer. Despite their best efforts, the lack of forensic tools and the chaotic nature of the crime scenes hindered their progress. The police were often criticized for their inability to protect the citizens of Whitechapel. The Ripper's modus operandi involved severe throat slashing followed by abdominal mutilation. This pattern suggested a certain level of anatomical knowledge, possibly indicating a background in medicine or butchery. The precision of the cuts led some investigators to believe that the killer had surgical experience. This theory, however, remained speculative due to the lack of concrete evidence. One of the most infamous pieces of evidence was a letter sent to the Central News Agency, signed, Jack the Ripper. The letter, known as the "Dear Boss" letter, taunted the police and promised more killings. While some believe it was a hoax, it captured the public's imagination and cemented the name Jack the Ripper in history. Other letters followed, some accompanied by gruesome tokens, but their authenticity remains disputed. The police also discovered a bloody piece of apron near the scene of Catherine Eddowes' murder. The apron fragment was found in Goulston Street, along with a message scrawled on the wall, "The Jewers are the men that will not be blamed for nothing." This cryptic message added another layer of mystery to the case, but its meaning and relevance were never conclusively determined. Despite the exhaustive investigation, the police were unable to gather sufficient evidence to identify the killer. The fog of misinformation and the lack of reliable witness accounts made it nearly impossible to piece together a clear picture of the Ripper's identity. The failure to capture Jack the Ripper led to widespread frustration and fear. The case remains one of the most famous and baffling unsolved mysteries in criminal history. The suspects. Over the years, numerous suspects have been proposed as the true identity of Jack the Ripper. These range from local butchers and doctors to high-profile individuals like Prince Albert Victor, Duke of Clarence. Each suspect has a set of circumstantial evidence and theories supporting their involvement. However, none have been definitively proven to be the Ripper. Montague John Druitt, a barrister and teacher, was one of the early suspects. His suicide shortly after the last canonical murder raised suspicions. Some believe his death coincided too conveniently with the end of the Ripper's killings. Despite these coincidences, there was little direct evidence linking him to the crimes. Aaron Kosminski, a Polish immigrant and barber, was another prominent suspect. Kosminski was known to have a deep-seated hatred of women and exhibited signs of mental illness. He was committed to an asylum not long after the murders ceased, adding to the suspicion. Modern DNA analysis of a shawl purportedly found at one of the crime scenes has suggested a link to Kosminski, though this evidence is still hotly debated. Dr. Francis Tumblety, an American quack doctor, also came under scrutiny. Known for his misogynistic tendencies and his collection of female anatomical specimens, Tumblety was in London at the time of the murders. He was arrested on unrelated charges and fled to the United States, fueling speculation about his involvement. However, the lack of direct evidence left his role in the murders unproven. One of the most sensational theories involves Prince Albert Victor, Duke of Clarence, and Avondale. Proponents of this theory suggest a royal cover-up to protect the prince from scandal. The theory, popularized by books and films, includes elaborate plots involving the Freemasons and high-ranking officials. Despite its dramatic appeal, there is little credible evidence to support this theory. Theories and speculation. The mystery of Jack the Ripper has given rise to numerous theories and speculations. Some believe he was a local resident with intimate knowledge of the Whitechapel area, allowing him to evade capture. Others suggest he was an educated man with medical training, given the nature of the mutilations. Each theory adds a new dimension to the enigmatic figure of Jack the Ripper. One popular theory is that Jack the Ripper was a skilled surgeon or doctor. The precision of the incisions and the removal of organs pointed to a familiarity with human anatomy. However, this theory has been challenged by modern criminologists who argue that the wounds could have been inflicted by someone with no medical knowledge. The debate over the Ripper's skills and profession continues to this day. Another intriguing theory suggests that the Ripper murders were part of a larger conspiracy. Some believe the killings were orchestrated to divert attention from political scandals or social unrest. This theory posits that multiple individuals could have been involved in carrying out and covering up the crimes. While these ideas are compelling, they often lack concrete evidence. Advances in forensic science have provided new insights into the case, but have also introduced new controversies. DNA analysis of historical artifacts, like the shawl purportedly linked to Aaron Kosminski, has both supported and refuted various suspects. The degradation of evidence over time makes it difficult to draw definitive conclusions. Each new forensic breakthrough brings hope, but also more questions. The field of Ripperology continues to thrive, with dedicated researchers and enthusiasts poring over every detail of the case. New books, documentaries, and academic papers keep the mystery alive. The identity of Jack the Ripper remains a tantalizing enigma that invites endless speculation. The enduring fascination with the case speaks to its complexity and the dark allure of unsolved mysteries. Jack the Ripper has transcended his status as a historical criminal to become a cultural icon. His story has been immortalized in countless books, films, and television series. The image of a shadowy figure stalking the foggy streets of London continues to captivate audiences. The Ripper's legacy is a testament to the enduring power of mystery and fear. The streets of Whitechapel have become a macabre tourist attraction, with guided tours retracing the steps of the infamous killer. These tours blend historical fact with legend, offering a chilling glimpse into the past. The fascination with Jack the Ripper's identity and his gruesome deeds shows no signs of waning. Each visitor hopes to uncover a new clue or piece of evidence that might finally solve the mystery. Despite over a century of investigation, the identity of Jack the Ripper remains shrouded in darkness. The lack of definitive answers has allowed the mystery to grow and evolve over time. Each new theory and piece of evidence adds another layer to the legend. The story of Jack the Ripper is a haunting reminder of the unknown and the unknowable. The Jack the Ripper case has had a profound impact on both criminal investigation and popular culture. It highlighted the limitations of police work at the time and spurred advancements in forensic science. The case also serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of sensationalism and the public's fascination with violence. Jack the Ripper remains a dark figure in history, embodying the mysteries that lurk in the shadows. As the fog rolls in and the streets grow silent, the legend of Jack the Ripper endures. His identity remains one of history's greatest unsolved puzzles, captivating generations of investigators and enthusiasts. The story of Jack the Ripper is a testament to the enduring allure of mystery and the dark corners of human nature. And so, the question lingers: who was Jack the Ripper? Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment if you enjoyed the content and see you in our next video.